That's gonna be fun.
True.
Yeah, that's also.
I read
gonna
the
be a
wrong
good
one.
Assuming you get
Yes,
to see
Leon
that.
versus John as well. That one's a little bit easier to say.
Yeah, just a little, I imagine. But we're back at it, Fireside Open, ladies and gentlemen. Winners quarterfinals. Winner of each of these sets is going to be your winner's side champions for top 8 before we get into that part of the bracket. Now we have Syrup, the top seed of this bracket, going up against ConCon, the Bayonetta player extraordinaire. Plays only women characters, as I do believe our gracious host mentioned before, and also some of the most annoying ones, as you could say. We got
Babe
Rosa.
is cool.
Babe,
You're being a hater right now.
I'm not being a hater. I'm just saying. You know, the point is, there was a wrong thing to say. I apologize, but you know what I'm getting at. Plays Rosa, plays Min Min, and plays Bayonetta. You know, like some characters that are really, really good, as well as just good at keeping you away. There comes the giant fist right through the wall that time around. I could already understand why you might want to play Bayonetta for this character with that counter pick. Not to mention the fact that Bayonetta spends a lot of time in the air with uncontestable moves in the air, such as Afterburner Kick. Not too much Steve can, or quite frankly should do about that. So I imagine that Syrup is probably going to spend a lot of time on the ground building materials, while ConCon's going to try to spend some time in the air and just negating Steve's aerial approaches like that, as ConCon's actually going to take the first stock.
I think a big thing in the Steve matchup is figuring out what tools you have to break the walls that he has set up. And goes for F Smash earlier in the game, and it didn't work out for him just because it is so laggy that it gives Syrup time to set up the minecart. So you do have to be very picky about what you're using, but I'm not really sure what Bayonetta's best options would be. So far, it doesn't really look like he needs to use it. I guess with Bayonetta's mobility, he's able to get around the wall, and so he doesn't have to necessarily worry about breaking through it, but just maneuvers around it instead. Okay, Bats Within's going to be huge in this matchup as well, because a lot of the time Steve is going for those like 2-piece combos. He's not really killing you outright unless he's able to find like an F Smash. So maybe being able to use Bats could be beneficial for him as well.
I would imagine. And as far as dealing with the blocks go, I think the Giant Fist can go through it, as well as back air can be a pretty good like fishing tool if you want to just like sort of get a hitbox through it. Not even a hitbox through it, but just like a nice like quicker way to just like less laggy way, I should say, to just like take the blocks down. As you see, neutral air kind of falling in. That seems to be the option that ConCon seems to be going with. That actually makes sense. It's pretty low lag, as well as a very sizable hitbox as well. Back air can be a little more awkward with the way that move angles, I suppose. My God, actually just waiting below the witch twist to get hit on the way back up on the up smash. That was nuts.
I'm actually really surprised that that worked.
Yeah, like right below the hitbox, right? I had no idea that was a thing either. Actually mashing the back air as well after the SDI on the ABK on top of that. My God, Syrup showing he might be no stranger to this matchup, Emma. He ducked below the bullets.
Yeah, ducking below the bullets.
That was so funny. I didn't even know Steve could do that in Minecraft. That's pretty hype. Oh, goodness me. What a silly character. Yeah, you would think that Bayonetta, with all the crazy mobility that she has, would be able to do a good job, like, playing around Steve's shenanigans. But the thing is, the more time she spends in the air, that just means the more time Steve is going to have to spend on the ground to be able to get his materials up. And there comes the Giant Fist, actually. Not able to actually get the materials out in time. You see, he was trying to, like, mix up his timing in on getting it. And I think ConCon, with a situational awareness, was actually aware of that. And, just decided to let it rock that time.
That was like a really good opportunity there for ConCon, just because Syrup only had iron, he didn't have a lot of resources, so in those situations, it's really important to like go in and press your advantage, just making sure that Steve doesn't have time to mine, and still even doesn't have a ton of resources right now. And pretty even game too. If he's able to make it back onto the ledge, this could very easily be ConCon's game.
Love what he was going for there with the anvil trap, plopping it on the block, and then trying to destroy the block below. That would have forced him to either, ConCon to either retreat further off the ledge, which would have forced a regrab, or to try to witch time it, which would have been even riskier and would have forced him off the ledge either way. So either way, it forced him back into a disadvantageous position, even though it did not seem to hit earlier on. So pretty smart play coming out from Syrup right now. And speaking of smart plays, that was not a smart one, just letting that up smash whiff right there. Putting the block, using the minecart to go up, not dealing with any of Bayonetta's ledge trap shenanigans. Very patient play from both players, Emma. Like, they're both like spending a lot of time in their respective places, Steve on the ground and Bayonetta in the air, where the other person can't seem to really approach the other one to just necessarily make it so they have to play a long game, and whichever one commits first will usually be the one to suffer for it.
BK is such a good option for Bayonetta to get in, but like we saw earlier with the up smash from Sheik, I think an up smash from Steve is also a really good way to call it out too, so you have to be super careful about the way that you're trying to approach, and I think ConCon's definitely showing that right now. But yeah, just gonna catch that witch twist up with the up smash and gonna take game 1 for Syrup.
That's twice in a game. I mean, I guess I would say that ConCon would definitely learn not to do that at this stage in the game, like considering he lost 2 of his 3 stocks to that option. But at the same time, I mean, you know, witch twist out of shield? That's kind of an important option for Bayonetta, don't you think? I mean, that's kind of how she gets out of a lot of situations, like, despite rolling or even, like, trying to, like, witch twist out, not witch twist, but bat within out of it. But that just comes as a matter of timing for the hitbox, and you kind of can't wait to just hold shield and wait for the last active hitbox of Steve up smash to be able to do the bat within to get out of that. And even if you could, Bayonetta wouldn't be able to punish in that situation. I think Steve would still be positive because he'd be at the end of the move. So truthfully, I think the fact that you can up smash that is huge, and I think the fact that we just got a double dunk on stream for you guys right now to get an early lead in this best of 3 set is even bigger. Syrup looking like he has practiced this matchup. He's got the knowledge on deck, Emma.
Fortunate if you're ConCon, especially because like Bayonetta is so good at holding onto her stocks for such a long time because she doesn't get gimped super often, but if you're able to find those spikes off stage, no way!
Oh, no.
Wow, it hasn't even been a minute. Yeah, I get it.
That doesn't have a filter. Oh, man. Wow. That was a dominant showing from Syrup. And what I thought, Emma, was going to be a very slow-paced set, because both of those players were playing in positions where the other one couldn't approach them, making it so the first person who approached would usually be the one at fault. Steve on the ground, where Bayonetta's approaches are pretty linear, and Bayonetta in the air, where Steve, unless he places a block, can't really chase her, and kind of is at risk of getting laddered if he does. But instead, the set was like, what, like 4 minutes? 5? If
that last game wasn't even a minute, so yeah.
Wow. Dominant showcase from Syrup right now. My goodness, let's take a look at that again. Ugh. Ugh. Man, that's a double dunk, man.
60%. That's crazy that has so much, like, knockback on that throw.
Yeah, the double dunk, man, you know, I order that, like, I order that donut special every time I go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin'?
Holy.
Come on, bruh. Have standards for yourself.
When I need it, okay, if there's no other options and I just need a quick breakfast sandwich. Yo, McDonald's breakfast is actually goated, but the thing is they time it. I can get an egg sandwich at Dunkin' Donuts whenever I want. This is stupid. I don't know why I'm talking about this.
I'm a Starbucks girly, so...
I like delis. I'll go to my local deli, alright? Let's go with that. Let's go
Fair
with
enough.
that. Let's go with
Fair
that.
enough.
Let's go with that. Okay. Let's agree to disagree, shall we? And move on through the winner's bracket. Thank you for bearing with us, folks. Yeah, that was a quick set, honestly. And that's going to be... I'm trying to see it right now. So that's going to be Syrup advancing to top 8. As I do believe if the bracket was already reported as a match we're not going to get to watch, Sobriket Sola defeating WebJP 2-0.
Oh.
That's an upset. That is an upset and a half, my friends. I mean, Solo's won a lot of the NJIT tournaments. He's competed in a lot of those. I think he's won some of them. Pretty low-key. Doesn't get to go out to as many events as he usually would probably assumedly like to. But when he does, gets to borderline top 8 of our regionals out here. As you can see, a hero player is who Sobriket plays. So I